Welcome to Teem Sports Entertainment, your one-stop shop for mature dialogue. We're going to get right to it. Welcome to Teem Sports Entertainment, the podcast, your one-stop shop for mature sports dialogue. I'm your host, Earl Teemer, alongside my co-host, my big uncle, Alan Teemer, and the special guest, my boy Seth, is here with us, and we are going to break down the 3-6 matchup, right? We have the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat. But before we even get into that, I want you to like the video, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, hit the notification bell. That way you know Dream Teamers when we upload new content. All right. So Miami is locked in at the 6th seed. Mm-hmm. And as we speak, they will be facing a team that they sent home in the bubble last year, and that's the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, we're going to start with predictions, and then we'll break down why. So, Big Unc, who you got?
Miami.
Said, who you got?
I'm going to take Milwaukee on that.
Yeah, we on the same wavelength today. I'm taking Milwaukee as well, all right? So let me know why. Tell me what you're looking for in that series. We'll start with you, because obviously Miami's been banged up all year, like most teams. They went deep in the playoff run in the bubble, and now in Miami fashion, they starting to hit their stride. They have confidence against Milwaukee because they pretty much set the blueprint on how to. Well, they followed the blueprint of the Toronto Raptors from 2 years ago on how to beat the Bucks. And if you're Giannis, what's on your mind? How did you send Eric Spoelstra, Jimmy Butler, and that Miami Heat team home?
You can't.
You can't.
The reason why is, and I have to disagree with you, because they didn't do it. They don't do it the same way that the Toronto Raptors did. They do it the Spoelstra way. And all you dream teamers out there, I'm quite sure you already know the answer to it, because if you watched all the Miami Heat updates that we've done all year long, we mentioned this matchup for the playoffs. And I can and if you watched it, you already know why. And the reason why is those zones that Spoelstra put together, those matchup zones that always seems to have the help. Don't make a difference if the size, they have size, and they putting Iggy in the back part of that zone. Now they can add
With the big?
No, the wings. They just picked up RZA. They can add him back there, and then on the back side of that, they're fronting. And then on the backside of that is also help. You got Bam. Their defense is just too elite for any of these teams in the East, including a Philadelphia. And they don't. Milwaukee Bucks playing against Miami Heat again in the playoffs. I got the same results from last year.
Yeah. Wow. Listen, man, I can't argue with any of that. We like you said, we did many of updates on Miami and what they bring to the table. The zone, obviously, Eric Spoelstra, the tenacity, just the culture alone. But before I even say what I have to say, what do you think? Because you chose the Bucks.
I took the Bucks, and why I took the Bucks, I just believe, after last year and what happened after Miami sent them home in 5, I think Giannis, has a sour taste in his mouth after that. And we'll be looking for redemption to send the Miami Heat home. I do believe, to touch on what Al said, they'll show zone, they'll mix it up, and, they won't change anything. They probably won't even change what they did from, I'm sure, during the regular season and then looking at videos probably from last year's playoff series. But I just think Milwaukee's a different team now with Drew Holiday there now. He can come in and do some things, Then you got guys like, Chris Middleton that can score points and stuff. Obviously, Giannis, you have him. You got Brook Lopez that can stretch it, and can shoot the 3. So I think they would be just like a matchup nightmare and stuff like that as far as offensively, because they can shoot the 3. So what? They play zone, they'll pick them apart shooting 3s. That's just what I'm saying. And then their bench is, Bobby Portis. You look at guys like that. Bobby Portis, Covington, Pat Covington. They have a lot of different guys. And then the other guy, nobody even talks about.
Dante?
Gary Forbes.
Yeah.
Gary
he's a knockout
Ford.
shooter.
Nobody talks about
Yeah.
Gary Ford, and he comes in and can give you instant offense. I like the Milwaukee Bucks in 6. I like them in 6 to win that series.
I like the way you're talking, man. That's real convincing, man. And that's part of the reason I'm rolling with them too. Because if you look at their roster from last year, Drew Holiday adds something that they didn't have. First of all, he's a playmaker.
Yeah.
Otherworldly defensively, and he can create his own shot just like Middleton. Now, the question is whether or not Giannis is going to use his size and not try to
You see me over here smiling?
that wall. Like, he has to understand the wall is there. You've been facing it how many times against Miami this year? Because they didn't wait for the playoffs.
Right.
They let him know early on in the season,
Yeah.
this is what it's going to be. This is what you've seen.
Right.
This is your reality.
And see, that's ever since said what he said, I've been smiling because you said last year that left a sour taste in Giannis' mouth. Well, if I was going to think anything was going to be different, that means Giannis has now worked on his game, and now he's shooting better from the outside. He know how to pull them. He got a mid-range game. He got all of that in place. Haven't seen it all season. He had a couple of games where he pulls up for the shot, and he's been making it.
The Nets game, actually. The Nets game, he shot
That's
the hell out of the ball.
Right.
But
he has to do that for a whole series.
All right, so my question to you, or both of you, is because we speak on the Bucks being sent home by them last year, and it was convincing too. I don't want to hear about Giannis' injury and all of that. They was smacking him around.
They played better when Giannis wasn't there because the game plan was to stop Giannis.
Yeah. But obviously the Bucks have improved in some areas, right? If you're just looking at the players that they acquired, right? My question is, can Miami sustain, as far as the series goes, to score enough points to beat them? Because if you look at Miami games, a lot of times they could have won those games, but they just couldn't score maybe 105 points.
Well, you're talking about the Miami team early on in the season. If you've been paying attention to this stretch, they have been an offensive explosion between Tyler Hero, Dragic, Ariza,
Top to bottom,
Jimmy Butler, Bam,
Duncan Robinson.
They've been
balling
offensively. They've been putting up numbers, shooting high 3-point shooting percentages as a team.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And their defense is still on lock.
But are we stating that Milwaukee is not a good defensive team?
Yeah, they're very good defensive
Because
team.
the vibe I'm getting from you, I could be wrong. Say, you let me know, is that you think it's going to be convincing.
Yeah, and you're right.
No.
It's going to be convincing.
And tell me why. Tell me why you think that what he's talking about. Go ahead, let me know.
Again, like I said again, I don't think it's convincing. This is not last year. This is not, this is a whole totally different Milwaukee team.
Yeah.
And I just think Milwaukee will find a way, to win the series. That's just my take on it. And listen, and I'm not taking anything from what Miami has done.
I'm not taking anything
They
from the
listen,
Bucks.
Jimmy Butler, hell of a player, great player. Bam Adebayo, great, can get it done in the paint. Then you surround these guys with obviously Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Trevor Ariza, great pickup, has a playoff experience, has been there. Andre Iguodala, another one. He forgot about him. He's there. So I get it, but I just think Drew Holiday, to me, you know what you're going to get from Chris Middleton. You know what you're going to get from Giannis. I think the key of the series, to me, is Drew Holiday. What do you get from him? And I think if he plays well, I think, they win the series. I think they'll win the series anyway, but obviously it'll be a grind. But like I said, I like Milwaukee in 6. That's just what I think.
To piggyback off what you said
wait
with
a
Drew
minute.
Holiday, go ahead, what you got?
I forgot about Tucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Milwaukee. Defensively.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm smiling again because you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of last year again, and I'm thinking about Jimmy Buckets and how he's screaming, he can't guard me.
Tucker
But
make
then
it
just
hard.
quick, I thought about it. Tucker can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be.
Yeah.
Listen,
So Drew physically.
it won't be as easy as
Yeah.
I thought. That's gonna be a battle. I forgot about the new pickups there,
Mm-hmm.
but the Bucks have to shoot good from the outside. And the reason why I'm skeptical about that is because the way the Heat play defense, they contest 3-point shooters and they close down that paint. So it's gonna be rough. And normally you can get Giannis downhill, which normally opens that up, but he's not getting in there like that.
No, he isn't.
He's gonna for him to get in there, he's gonna have to get in there on the post, and that's not easy to do. Embiid have problems getting the ball in his spots on the post against Miami.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
now my question to you is, Embiid, hypothetically, because sometimes we speak about players who can't get the ball on the block. Is it because that player doesn't have good position, or they don't have a floor general or someone on the perimeter who can't feed the post?
They have the person to feed the post to, but we're talking about the Sixers.
Yeah.
But the problem is, even when you have a great post passer, Miami makes it difficult.
Yeah, they extend out. Yeah.
They make it difficult for you to make that pass, and that's so they kind of eliminate your inside game. You've been wondering why these big guys are shooting. It's not in the paint because they can't get the ball when they're down there.
I can roll with that. Go ahead, Seb, what
to
you got?
touch on something, and I know just to bring it up, maybe you can look at your your computer and stuff, your laptop, as far as with the stat stuff. They just played last night. Both of them. Milwaukee just played Miami last night. And I know Jimmy Butler didn't play. They sat him. And Giannis played well. He had a good game. The whole team did. They scored 122 points last night, if I'm not mistaken. If you look, But it's there that, not like I said, not taking anything from Miami again. But Jimmy Butler didn't play. Maybe resting guys. Maybe I don't know the situation, like the scenario, what happened. I mean, obvious, with that. But I just was looking at that from last night when they played.
And they beat them 108 to 122.
122. Am I correct with that? Yeah.
And Jimmy Butler didn't play.
Did not play, and they won. So
still a W, man.
Still
Something
a
to
W.
take away from it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what Earl was saying. That's why we like the Bucks to win. Not pertaining to just that game. But
Heat go as Jimmy goes.
Okay.
And I can agree with
that's a total different team when he's on the floor.
That's a fact.
All right.
But we mentioned Giannis because he is who he is. Drew Holiday is a difference maker on both sides of the floor.
Yes.
Middleton is an all-star that seems to always get forgotten.
Yeah.
He created his own shot. He's not a walk in the park defensively either. He defends pretty well. The team overall, coaching is pretty decent. I think it all comes down to Giannis's mindset. If he's going to try to go through the wall and Euro step himself and try to get easy twos and get offensive fouls, but if he uses his brain IQ, basketball IQ, and he takes a back seat and allow the playmakers on the floor to make things happen and understand that utilizing the players on your team can help you in the long run, I think that they can beat Miami in 5, man.
Wow. You think,
I believe that.
Okay.
I believe
had them
that
at 6,
because
but
I think they're an overall better team. I like Miami. I do.
Well, if we're gonna take anything from the game that you asked me to look up, if we're gonna take anything from that, it was a overall team performance.
Okay.
And everybody that you mentioned had big night. Forbes had 21 points.
Speak up a little bit.
Forbes had 21 points. Drew Holiday had 20. Brooke Lopez had 18. Chris Middleton had 21.
Wow.
Giannis had 15.
Okay.
And that's one more. DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo.
Yeah,
He had
Dante
11.
DiVincenzo.
He had 11. So now that goes right into the scenario that you guys are talking about, where it's not on Giannis to have those big games. Those new pieces is going to have to play big. Wait, Bobby Portis also had 14 points.
He's been solid this year.
So you counting all of those guys, so that's what 7 guys in double figures last night, right?
Yeah.
So they got probably over close to almost 100 points from 7 guys combined. So that's what I'm saying about them.
It appears to me like the game plan was what it always is: shut
Giannis
down, and that's opening up everybody else.
But I, you know what? I agree with that. Like those
Pick your
guys
poison.
have to, yeah,
Those guys have to have big games.
yeah, throughout the series. If you know when they play, you can't, can't disappear. Obviously.
I'm just not going against Miami.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. I feel you. Like we've been riding with Miami all year, and I wouldn't even think it's wishful thinking on my part. I just think that this is just a series. I don't see Giannis and the Bucks losing in the first round, man. I don't see it happening.
I don't either.
Just the maturation process of Middleton, man, Drew Holiday. That's what they brought him here for and extended him for.
Well,
He's gonna have a big series.
Okay.
And remember, Miami's in the same situation that the Lakers were in. They had maybe a 70-day gap in between the last game and the end of the year, or the beginning of this season. They're not 100% as far as, I don't think Jimmy Butler's 100%. He's always in and out the lineup. I don't think it's because they want to sit him. He has to sit him. They have to, because he only knows how to play one way. And they're going to need him to be 100% against the Bucks. He has to be 100%. If he's not himself,
the entire playoffs, he's gonna have to be 100.
if he has an off game, I don't think they can sustain that.
But see, that's the
Because
thing.
Bam is a baller.
One thing about that, Jimmy Butler don't have off games because Jimmy Butler is just not a scorer. He does so many other things on the floor that if he's not scoring, he's doing something else and he's not the type that's going to force it. I got to get my points. He's not like that. He's going to affect the game
in other ways.
That's the thing about Jimmy Butler.
I think something that we're overlooking too. I could be wrong. From the Bucks from last year, they had the talent, but Drew Holiday and PJ Tucker bring that toughness.
I totally agree.
I agree.
That's something that they didn't have. So Jimmy walking out there screaming that he can't guard me or he don't do that and all that. These guys they're not fearful of you. They want that challenge.
Yeah.
So we shall see, man. It is what it is. It's the playoffs, man. We can sit here and break down the game all we want. At the end of the day, they got to line up.
Opinions at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many of you are going to agree with who. And I know my Heat fans. I know how y'all are down there. And believe it or not, it's like I'm biased because I got the Heat to come out of the East.
Really?
Again. I can't argue with
Again.
that. I can't argue with
Okay,
that.
so basically over Philadelphia, which is the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Over, obviously, what everybody would say the odds on favors the Brooklyn Nets also.
I wish that was the first, because at this point where we are, we're talking about Miami and Milwaukee, but that's not locked in, right?
No.
That it could easily be flopped over, and I think that'll help. That will help the Bucks by moving out of that spot and moving down to 4. Down to the moving up to 2. And Brooklyn coming down to 3. And Brooklyn and Miami in the first round. Like I told y'all,
I like that matchup.
I got Miami coming out of the East. So yes, I'm not even calling it an upset because I expect that.
If they play Brooklyn, I have them beating Brooklyn.
It's just
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bad matchup for Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Bad matchup for Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And that type of intensity and that type of defense of coming at them when you don't have no chemistry.
You can't know it, yeah.
But
you gotta have chemistry to beat those matchup difference. Those zones are not the same from game to game.
No.
There's always tweaks in there that's different. You think you can break it this way, the next game you come back, or the second half you come out and it's a total different zone, but it all looks the same.
Yeah. So let me ask both of you guys something. There's a question on this. That scenario, if Brooklyn plays the Nets, and when Brooklyn plays, I'm sorry, if Brooklyn plays Miami in the first round, the 3-6, you guys both like Miami to upset the Nets in how many games? I'm just curious to know, both of you. Like, how many games do you think Miami? What do you
I
think?
think them 6 or 7.
That's gonna go 6-7.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my issue with that, and we're just speaking because the way things are lined up now, that may not happen. But if that was to happen, I just think that Brooklyn isn't a durable team. You know what I mean? And the way Miami plays,
Yeah.
Very physical, man.
Yeah.
Very. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that matchup is in their favor. They're better off playing one of the play-in teams.
The biggest matchup that I'm looking for in a series like that is Bam and KD.
Yeah, Bam played them well this year.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he puts up big numbers against them during the regular season. I'm sure. Like, what was it like? Averaging over 25 a game, right? Close, right? Bam.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
thought you
Bam.
were saying
No, not KD. I'm talking about Bam. That's how his
well,
numbers.
KD didn't play enough.
Anyway.
But
so.
the games that early on that he played, of course, I don't think Harden was there.
Yeah. I remember one game. I think he went for 40 or something. Out of body, you went like 40 something, 42.
The game went on
43.
him, right?
He
Buzzer
beat
beater.
them.
Yeah.
He beat them without
Without Butler and
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
all right. So going back to that matchup as far as the Bucks and the Heat. So me and said have them winning that. I said in 5. You said 6, and you got Miami running with that, right?
Yeah, I'm running with that.
All right, man. So we shall see, man. Hopefully, it turns out to be everything we expected it to be. I said they'll win in 5. I'm not saying they'll beat them by 20 each game, but I just think that the pieces that they added will be able to help them get over the hump. And that's all I got on that, man. What else you got? Anything else you wanna
I
add?
just can't wait.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, like I said, I agree with what you said. Those pieces that to touch on what you said, those pieces that were added as opposed to what they had, Eric Bledsoe, those guys that they had last year, good players, but obviously they had to make changes within that roster to, obviously keep Giannis there. Going through his free agency and stuff.
Yeah.
They went and got a Drew Holiday. They went and got Bobby Portis in free agency they signed. So they did Forbes.
Yeah.
So they brought pieces in around him to get over the hump to do that. But I do think Milwaukee gets it done. To touch,
right.
Again.
All right, so you heard it here first. Team Sports Entertainment. All right, y'all like the video? Leave a comment below. Let us know who you have taking this series against Miami and Milwaukee. Listen, man, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below once again. Hit the notification bell. That way you know when we upload new content here at Teem Sports Entertainment. It's your host, Earl Teemer, Big Unc Allen Teemer, my co-host. Special guest is Said in the middle. And we appreciate y'all. Y'all be good.
Peace.
Peace.